All right, folks, happy Saturday. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in this world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayers Live, page by page reading and commentary of the modern English version of the Bible. So today we are going into the first book of Kings, chapter 2. Chapter 2. I'm really glad to be in the Book of Kings now. I really enjoyed yesterday's reading a lot. Chapter 1 of the first Book of Kings I thought was really interesting. But now we're going into chapter 2. I hope all of you continue to have a great weekend. I'm mostly going to be working this weekend. Before I came on here, I did a very brief live stream over on another project that I have going on because you, well, here's what I'll say. I hate admitting when I'm wrong, but I will admit when I'm wrong, and I will try to correct my wrong when I'm wrong. The Bible has helped me to find a way to do that and not feel a certain way about myself. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all something I was wrong about recently, and that was the reason I just did a certain live stream on another project. Those of you who have followed me for years, you know that I really am in love with seeing people come together in a romantic way. I love seeing couples come together. It's one of my favorite things to witness. But I think sometimes maybe I'm imposing my will upon others, or I get too excited when I see that happening. And I did jump the gun in regards to, at least from my perspective as of current, trying to help a young woman that crossed my path meet somebody that definitely wouldn't be good for her. So I told this woman privately that I don't think that she should meet him after all, and she doesn't need to pay me back or anything, but I made it known publicly also because I don't want anyone saying, oh, Alex is who created this disaster for you. And maybe in a way I did create what could be a potential disaster, but I feel like I've done everything in my power to stop that disaster from happening now. And that's why I say accountability is important. I hate having to make it known when I'm wrong. I hate having to take accountability publicly when I'm wrong about stuff, but after I do, I feel a lot better. Same thing goes for apologies, and I think that people should realize that we're not perfect, and I don't think it's enough to just be like, well, Jesus died for our sins, so I don't have to apologize. No, you do. So that's my personal thought for today. But let's go ahead and go into the first book of Kings, chapter 2, David's charge to Solomon. Now it was coming close to the day of David's death, and he gave his son Solomon a charge, saying, I am going the way of all the earth. Be strong and show yourself to be a man, and keep the charge of the Lord your God, walking in his ways, keeping his statutes, his commandments, his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that you may prosper in all that you do and wherever you turn, that the Lord may carry out his word that he spoke concerning me, saying, if your children take heed to their way to walk before me in faithfulness with all their hearts and with all their souls, you shall not fail to have a man on the throne of Israel. Moreover, you know also what Joab the son of Zeruiah did to me, what he did to the two commanders of the army of Israel, to Abner the son of Ner, and to Amasa the son of Jether, whom he killed, shedding the blood of war in a time of peace. He spilled their blood on the belt that was around his waist and on the shoes of his feet. Do the right thing according to your wisdom, and do not let his gray head go down to the grave in peace. So David's not having it when it came to that person. Hey, good morning, PWT. I hope you have a good Saturday and a good weekend. I woke up pretty early and got some things done, but now I'm here, and after I finish with this reading, I'm going to try my best to have a very productive day. But thanks for coming in here. So let's continue. But show kindness to the sons of Barzillai the Gileadite, and let them eat at your table. For with such loyalty they supported me when I fled from your brother Absalom. There is also with you Shammai, the son of Gera, a Benjamite from Behurim, who cursed me with a grievous curse in the day when I went to Mahanaim. But when he came down to meet me at the Jordan, I swore to him by the Lord, saying, I will not put you to death with the sword. Now, therefore, do not hold him guiltless, for you are a wise man, and know what you ought to do to him. Bring his gray head down to the grave with blood. So this is great, actually, because these are David's last words, and he's keeping it really real with Solomon. He's like, look, Solomon, it's going to be hard, and there's going to be some enemies that you basically inherit from my time on this planet, so you got to be ready. That's what David is saying to Solomon, really. So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. David reigned over Israel 40 years. He reigned 7 years in Hebron and 33 years in Jerusalem. So Solomon sat upon the throne of his father David, and his kingdom was firmly established. Very nice. Okay, so Solomon now is king. So let's continue. The throne of Solomon established. Then Adonijah, the son of Haggith, came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, and she said, Do you come in peace? And he said, I come peaceably. Then he said, I have something to say to you. And she said, Speak. He said, You know that the kingdom was mine, and that all Israel viewed me as the king. However, the kingdom has become my brother's, for it was given to him by the Lord. And now I ask one petition of you. Do not deny me. She said to him, Keep speaking. And he said, Please speak to Solomon the king, for he will not refuse you, that he may give me Abishag the Shunammite as a wife. He has some nerve. This guy has some nerve. And they are, I would assume, half brothers. It seems like they're half brothers, okay? But already, see, he tried to, Adonijah presumed too quickly that he was going to be king. Okay, he figured, oh, I'm just going to take the throne now that my dad is old and sick and dying. No, it doesn't work that way. The dad has to designate his will. And there are people today who act in the same way within their families, trying to dictate things or take power when it might not be their place. You know? So he has some nerve to approach Solomon's mom about, he feels like, well, I should at least get a consolation prize, because as we know, this particular young woman who was a virgin, Abishag, was super pretty. And that's why she was chosen to take care of David in his final years and be like his nurse in a way. Okay, so let's find out what happens. Okay, Bathsheba said, Very well, I will speak to the king on your behalf. So Bathsheba went to King Solomon to speak to him on behalf of Adonijah. The king rose up to meet her and bowed to her. Then he sat down on his throne and had a seat placed at his right hand for her to sit upon. Then he said, I desire one small, oh, I'm sorry, then she said, and she's talking to David, I desire one small petition of you. Please do not deny me. And the king said to her, ask my mother, for I will not refuse you. She said, let Abishag have a hard time saying this, Shunammite be given as a wife to Adonijah, your brother. King Solomon answered his mother, now why do you ask Abishag the Shunammite for Adonijah? Ask for him the kingdom also, for he is my elder brother. Ask not only for him, but also for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. Then King Solomon swore by the Lord, saying, may God do so to me, and more also, if this word does not cost Adonijah his life. Interesting. Now therefore, as the Lord lives, who has established me and set me on the throne of David my father, and who has made me a house, as he promised, Adonijah shall be put to death this day. So not only is Adonijah not getting what's this girl's name? Abishag as a wife. I knew it. He had some nerve asking that. Such a level of entitlement. Man. But now he's going to be put to death. See, this is a lesson for some of you who may not do your siblings right and who think that your parents are pushovers. You know, you got to be careful how you treat people. Because when you keep pushing for things that maybe you should not be entitled to, it's going to come back to you. And in the case of Adonijah, he pushed too much. He tried to take the kingdom when it wasn't his to take. Then he's trying to get the pretty virgin. Like he feels like, oh, well, I should at least have the pretty virgin. No, he probably would have been mean to her. So Solomon's like, no. How about this? How about we just get rid of your ass? So King Solomon dispatched Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and executed him. So that's the end of Adonijah. He's gone. He's dead. The king said to Abiathar the priest, go to Anathoth, to your own fields, for you are worthy of death. But I will not at this time put you to death, because you bore the ark of the Lord God before David my father, and because you shared in all the hardships my father endured. So Solomon expelled Abiathar from being priest to the Lord, thus fulfilling the word of the Lord that he had spoken concerning the house of Eli and Shiloh. Then word came to Joab, for Joab had followed Adonijah, though he did not support Absalom. And Joab fled to the tabernacle of the Lord and caught hold of the horns of the altar. King Solomon was told, Joab has fled the tabernacle of the Lord, and behold, he is beside the altar. Then Solomon sent Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, saying, go and execute him. So Benaiah came to the tabernacle of the Lord and said to him, thus says the king, come forth. And he said, no, I will die here. And Benaiah told the king all Joab said. The king said to him, do as he has said, strike him down and bury him, and thus take away from me and my father's house the guilt for the blood Joab shed without cause. The Lord shall return his blood upon his own head, for he attacked 2 men more righteous and better than he, Abner the son of Ner, commander of the army of Israel, and Amasa the son of Jether, commander of the army of Judah, and killed them with the sword when my father David was unaware. Therefore their blood shall return upon the head of Joab, and upon the head of his seed forever. But upon David, and upon his seed, and upon his house, and upon his throne, shall the peace of the Lord rest forever. So Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, went up and attacked and killed him, and he was buried in his own house in the wilderness. The king put Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and I know I'm pronouncing this wrong. It's spelled Jehoiada. I don't know if it's pronounced Jehoiada, Jehoiada. So I'm pronouncing it different times, different ways. Okay. Anyway, the king of Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, over the army, and in place of Joab, put Zadok, the priest, in place of Abiathar. The king sent and called for Shimei and said to him, "Build a house for yourself in Jerusalem and dwell there, and never leave the city. For on the day you go out and pass over the Kidron Valley, know for certain that you will surely die. Your blood shall be on your own head." Shimei said to the king, "What you say is good. As my lord the king has said, so will your servants do." And Shimei lived in Jerusalem many days. It came about at the end of 3 years, 2 servants of Shimei ran away to Achish, son of Maacah, king of Gath. And they told Shimei, saying, "Behold, your servants are in Gath." Shimei rose, saddled his donkey, and went to Gath to Achish to look for his servants. And Shimei went and brought his servants from Gath. Solomon was told that Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Gath and had returned. The king sent and called for Shimei and said to him, "Did I not make you swear by the Lord and warned you, saying, know for certain that on the day you go out and walk abroad anywhere, you shall surely die? And you said to me, what you say is good, I will obey. Why then have you not kept the oath of the Lord and the commandment that I gave you?" The king also said to Shimei, "You know all the wickedness in your heart, and what you did to David my father. Therefore the Lord shall return your wickedness on your own head." He's talking about, for those of you who don't believe in God, he's talking about what the element of karma is. "But King Solomon shall be blessed, and the throne of David shall be established before the Lord forever." So the king commanded Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, who went out and attacked him so that he died. And the kingdom was established in the hand of Solomon. All right, well, that's the end of chapter 2 of the first book of Kings. A lot happened in this chapter. This was kind of a long chapter. I enjoyed reading it. Basically, it was a time for Solomon to clean house. He had to get rid of his brother, who had a very high sense of entitlement. He had to protect the virgin from potentially having a horrible husband. I was worried about that virgin. I really was, because after I read about her in the first chapter of the first book of Kings, I was like, oh, I hope things work out for that woman, because they were talking about, like, maybe they were going to have her put to death with David. I'm like, what? He's going to die and they're going to kill her too? But they didn't. So that's good. That's good. So far, the first book of Kings is pretty exciting. Tomorrow we'll go into chapter 3, which revolves around Solomon asking for wisdom. Anything else? That's it. That's all that chapter 3 covers. So we'll go into that. Everyone have a great day. I hope to have a productive day. I hope all of you do also. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.